Yes, I think like a good like final thought, to add on to what Jeffin was saying was just like working on ways to prepare yourself to being a future spouse, to your future husband or future wife. I think that's very important to work on yourself in those moments and having those times of being alone with God, and just having God prepare you with like qualities that a lot of qualities that goes into the equation of marriage as far as like being patient with one another because there are strengths and weaknesses that both husband and wife have when it comes to that. And then just with that, and then just extending grace, that's definitely very big as well. So lots of those are definitely some really big things. And then if I had like any kind of advice I wanted to offer to somebody, just because this is something I personally go through, but like if if you're tired of always going on first date after first date after first date, like nothing ever happening out of it, let that almost be like an encouragement in a way, only because you're one person closer to finding the right one. That's the only way I could think about saying that. I know a lot of people may look at it as one more person that it didn't work out with, but it's like really it's okay because if you tried forcing something out of it, it was not going to work anyways. The door was going to close at some point, and it was going to hurt you longer, like in the long run. So I think that's very important. Just being patient and not losing hope or not losing faith. Those are like very big for me. And then because at the end of the day, like Jeffin was saying, like when we are gone from this earth, like God is going to you know almost give us like a self-reflection like kind of moment, like look what you could have done, but like really at some points in your life you were more focused on being single, like you're more wallowing and dwelling on that than you are on serving me in that moment of singleness. So I think just something like that is definitely very like big for me, like very self-reflective for me. It's just realizing that, that even in my single moments, I could find, ways to, glorify God even in those moments, even in the moments where it can be hard, just waiting. That's just big for me. So
Yeah. I
yeah.
do want to, can I just say one thing? Because I know as a single woman, I used to hear this a lot. Thankfully, I don't hear it anymore. But some people will be like, just wait, like they'll just come, or just like, if you do keep working on yourself, they'll just show up. And sometimes that does happen, but sometimes, like, what do you do if that doesn't happen? So I just want to encourage anybody that does hear that a lot and they are working on themselves, or they feel like just trust in the Lord, and it's not dependent on us. Um, well, there are some things that, faith without works. So there are things that we can do to be intentional, like date and things like that. But like the book Boundaries in Dating is a great book that kind of covers deeper on this topic. And it's very helpful, and just talks about a lot of different things. But yeah, don't get discouraged by like even people, different comments, because everyone has their own journey. Some people get married younger, some people get married older. Um, but nevertheless, like Joel said, just stay encouraged, because the thief only comes with to steal, kill, and destroy. And it's really trying to steal the joy, and the joy of your salvation. And you don't want to allow the current circumstances to steal your joy in that. So like even yesterday I felt discouraged. I was like, man, I'm single. All of a sudden I was so content. And then all of a sudden I was just like, oh man. And then I was like, well, I mean, I know I enjoy being single. I'm grateful that for the single moment. And I just had to, show gratitude for the Lord for this. Like he said, be a good steward of it. So yeah, don't be discouraged by anything people say, like you're too picky, or you're this, or maybe you're not doing enough to get married, or maybe you're not doing this or doing that. Just lay all those thoughts to rest, and surrender it to God, because, um, yeah.
Absolutely. And my last thought is simple. What you guys said is perfect. And don't be stressed out too much, right? When God have the right person ready for you, when God thinks you're ready for that person, you're gonna meet, right? But and also three things, right? When you go out dating, and these for the listeners who are actually, in maybe you're young, maybe you're 18, you're starting to get into the real dating world, I guess. I think that's what after college, I guess. But you get the point. There's three questions you got to keep in mind. Is this person a man, like man or woman of God, right? Is the faith important to them? Number two, how does your future look like with this person? And what does really are you happy with them with these three questions? Being able to kind of combine these three in mind, and if you don't stress, like how Brittany said, and in the journey, Joel, you were talking about it, and it's important to go through these obstacles to become who you are today. Thank you so much.
Yes, yes, I love that. I think that's a very good way to close out this topic. And the very last thing that I want to say regarding this is very important to remember that God's plans is better than our plans. Like we may have a plan set out for ourselves of how who we like what we have in mind for someone that we want to marry. And of course, is God's going to give us somebody that puts Him first. But I guess in terms of you may be expecting one thing and it may be completely different. God may have somebody completely different for you. So just like we were talking about earlier, just being open-minded, to anybody and everybody that, as far as someone that believes in the Lord and puts the Lord first in their life. So just that and being patient and and not listening to other people's feedback as far as you being picky or you still being single and being in your late 20s. So just don't lose hope. So I think that's a good way to close out this topic. So anyways, I definitely appreciate everybody for watching, and I definitely appreciate both Jeffin and Brittany for being here. It was good having y'all on this episode, and I'm glad that I was able to hear like perspectives from the married side of things, like looking back on the singleness at one point, and then also hearing from a female perspective on like singleness and just kind of some of the same struggles that we go through. So I definitely appreciate y'all both for being on here.
Always a pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, so anyways, everybody, if you enjoyed watching this, whether you're watching it on YouTube or on my Instagram page at Not Your Average Joel Podcast, be sure to comment on there. Like if you have some, moments of singleness or struggles with being single that like you may want to, talk about on there, definitely feel free to do that. Or if you want to personally message me on my Instagram page, you can do that as well. Or if you are listening on any of the podcast streaming platforms, such as Spotify or Apple Podcasts or Google Podcasts, I definitely appreciate your support there as well. So, anyways, everybody, I thank y'all for watching, and I will see y'all on the next episode of Not Your Average Joel. Bye.